Good evening and welcome to the cut, as it's known locally. I've just cast out. I'll be waiting for that first fish, which is always nice to get on the bank, whatever type of angling you do. Just before I came out, I had a quick look at my website. Paul had posted a comment, mostly in reference to the lure fishing that I've been doing recently, but also he said he likes this approach to the canal fishing that I do, quite minimal tackle and very enjoyable. And he asked a question, he said, how do you choose your swim on the canals? Well, I thought that's a great question, one to put on a video, because I'm sure that would be helpful to many novices or youngsters or people that perhaps don't fish canals very often. What you have to remember is that canals were dug by hand. So the Staffordshire, Worcestershire, that type of canal, I'm not thinking of the big ship canals, which are a different ball game altogether, but that type of canal, dug by hand, and so they are pretty standard. What you get in the canal system that I fished, numerous canals, Staffs, Worcestershire mostly, is you get a shelf either side and then a boat channel. Now, if you are ever in a position whereby there is work going on the canal, they will drain it sometimes. That's always worthwhile popping down to have a look, because you get a great idea with your own eyes at what the canals are like. So you've got your two shelves and the boat channel. At this time of the year, as far as swim selection is concerned, it's not as crucial as it would be in the winter when the canals are quite clear. Well, certainly the one I'm on now, very clear, so the fish will instinctively head for shelter. That could be cover, safety, that could be permanently moored boats, could be a bridge, it could be some other structure that's over the canal, it could be trees that, although they won't have the leaves on, nevertheless they'll still offer some form of shelter, and especially lower overhanging vegetation. During the summer months, so the fish are more active, they're more mobile, they're more spread out throughout the canal system. So that's not as crucial in that sense. However, you still want to put yourself in the right position. I'm under trees, so I've still got those overhanging trees, which again will still offer some sort of cover during the summer. I'm fishing the boat channel, and I know that the fish will be active, so even if I cast out and I don't get a bite immediately, which is probably this session, there may not be fish directly in front of me. I do know that as I put the crumb out and the maggots, that will attract them in and it will keep them feeding. You've also got locks and bridges and other stone structures. Again, they could be more relevant during the winter months, or certainly when you're lure fishing for perch. Locks, you're not allowed to fish within a certain number of yards of a lock. But when you're lure fishing very early in the morning, no boats on the go, you drop a lure in, even if you see a boat coming, you just move on. So it's not a particular problem. It's just when you set all your gear up, you've got your keep net, you've got everything, then you cause a bit of a nuisance, don't you, to boats passing through. So think about the swim. You know what the terrain is like beneath the water. Then think about what you've got above it. Look for features. If you've got an open section and there's one tree that's really dense hanging over, that's obviously a place to fish to. If you've got reeds, if you've got lilies, features like that, natural features, they're great places to target. If you're on a canal that doesn't have many boats, lilies and reeds will take root. The one that I'm on now is quite a busy canal as far as boats are concerned, so lilies just don't get chance to take root. But as I've said, in my case today, it's the overhanging trees. I'm in the boat channel, I've got a bait on the deck, and as always, I'm confident, even if it may take a few minutes to get the fish into the swim, I'm confident I will get them feeding, keep them feeding, and I will be back with a small fish, it will be a perch, and then we'll see where the rest of the session goes. Well, I've looked into my crystal ball, and what I'm going to do now is pour myself a cup of tea while I watch that little orange tip sticking at the moment motionless above the surface of the water. I've got some interest out there on the float. Just gentle little dips. It's moving along. Again, another little dip. I'm going to strike soon. The next sign of movement. There you go. And it is a small fish, but a roach. My crystal ball was a little bit hazy, I think. Nevertheless, I got small right. And hopefully it'll all be uphill from now on as far as the size of the fish is concerned. My second fish is also a roach. It's a bigger one, and while I was fishing I recorded a thought for the day, and I'm just going to put a little clip of not the whole of the thought for the day, but just a little clip following this, because you'll see what happened. So I could have a fish for the thought for the day. Indeed I have. It's a roach. Oh no! It's stopped into my flask of tea. Let me show you this quickly. That's going back. There you go. I don't think any harm's done. The tea was quite cold while I was talking there. I thought I'll keep the tea. I think it tastes slightly different. Not very nice. So on this occasion, I'm going to throw it away. I think I'm going to clean the cup out and pour me another one. A third fish, a second species, and I'll tell you something, I'm glad I didn't drop this one in the cup because it tastes very slimy as it is. A small bream. I keep my rod made up, so it's really convenient when I go canal fishing with the float. It's a small Shimano reel. It's a Gray's rod. I've got 4-pound Maxima Chameleon. That goes right the way through to the hook. I'll start from that on this occasion. I normally work my way down. It's a size 14 Drennan Super Specialist. Got 2 maggots on there. That's the little anchor shot to hold the bait on the canal. The shot is fairly evenly spread. There's not much of it actually, because it's just a small, make sure no bikes are coming along while I move my rod on the towpath behind. It's a small Drennan waggler, and I've got a shot either side that anchors it, and I can move that shot up and down as well if I so choose, in reference to the earlier shelves and the boat channel. Then I can move that if I decide to fish slightly shallower or deeper water, whatever the case may be. I'm fishing maggots mixed in with brown crumb, fairly sloppy, so that it creates a nice cloud when it hits the water, but also firm enough so that the bulk of it goes down to the bottom, and that's where I'm fishing, of course, on the bed of the canal. This is one of those, I'm not going to show everything to the camera sessions. I will on this occasion though, because it's my third fish in terms of species of the session, and it's also my target and my favourite perch. It's a fairly busy session. Once the fish came on the feed, got them into the swim, got their heads down. That's the biggest perch so far. Not massive at all, is it? But they're all great to catch. I'm not sure what it is at the moment. I think it could be a bream. Yes, it is. Well, that's a shame, because if it was a perch, it would have been okay in terms of size. Not as big as I thought. They sometimes pull initially, don't they? And then when you get them to the surface, they come very mildly and gently into the net. I think I can get this one out without my glasses on. I said before, I can see the sun. Not that I can today, it's not a very nice day. 93 million miles away, but I sometimes struggle what's in front of my nose. Anyway, this is the aforementioned fish. It's a slimy one as well, as you can see there on the screen. Another one for the net. Not sure what it is. It's another bream. Well, once you get one, then inevitably there will be more, because they are shoal creatures, aren't they? Nice enough fish, especially if you were a matchman. A few of those in your cup of tea, a few of those in your net would be nice, wouldn't they? I've had a nice little session tonight. I'll be reeling in shortly for the final time. Nothing big, but plenty of fish, so lots of action. And although I would like to catch a big perch, it's not always possible, is it? You're not going to do that every time you get out there. But as I say, enjoyed it. That's always the key, isn't it? I'm on my way home in due course. I've got a very, very busy couple of days ahead of me, but nevertheless, days that I'm looking forward to. That's time for another blog entry. Let's get this one uploaded first. And as I mentioned at the beginning, my website, there is a comments option on there. So if you want to drop a comment, or you can read the others, of course, that are on there, head across to theanglingrev.com. And in the menu, you'll find the guest book / comments. I hope to hear from you.